what was adopted as well. And I've taught many classes on this, and I think that if some attendance from these folks at some of those courses might have answered a ton of questions for them. But that's not where we're at today. And I have no problem with it being on the next agenda, and maybe even someone putting together an emergency rule, as long as it meets the criteria, which I think it's subjective. We can pass that. Thanks.
So I would like to make a motion that we add to our November meeting a topic on changing the applicability of the WUI code and providing options other than findings of fact and the DNR map for when this code applies and when it does not apply.
I'll second that. But I'd also like to add some more comments to the conversation that's been going on. I think every single one of us can look out our front room window and then look at the DNR map and go, WTF. It's confusing. It doesn't work. But I also have to apologize to Ken Brule because I knew that it would come up in this particular conversation of whether or not this rose to an emergency level. And I had to vote no on Ken's proposal, even though I thought that was much closer to an emergency process than this is. But I can't support any sort of movement of this into an emergency process. First of all, I think we don't know enough about exactly how we're going to resolve this. I mean, many of the speakers have had some excellent ideas, and some of those need to be ferreted through and get the experts in here, read their books and so forth and so on. It's going to be a long process, but it's not going to, I don't think it should be an emergency rule in any sort of manner whatsoever. So while I'm all in favor of getting this conversation started at the next meeting in November, I think it's going to be a long educational process. There are many problems with this code, but they're not easily resolvable by simply removing the defensible spaces wording. And in fact, I don't even think we can possibly do that without actually endangering the entire code itself, especially by the March 15th date. So, and protecting what we have done so far, I think is my priority, and hopefully it is your priority. So I don't want to see this. I want to see this addressed in the next issue, and I think it's incredibly important. And it's going to lead to a lot of confusion and problems out there, and a lot of people not respecting the code. But I think it's going to have to wait to the next cycle. So I'll stop there.
Thank you, Pete. Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak in favor of looking at this map again too, you know, as I live in Pullman. I look out of my front windows and I see WSU and a whole bunch of, you know, wheat fields. Wheat fields burn pretty well, you know, when they're dry in the summer, just as well as a forest will, and they travel just as probably faster. But you know, when I look at this map, right now I see pretty much the entire WSU campus is marked as non-vegetated, uninhabited, and it's pretty much anything but that. So I think there's some real serious problems with this, you know, including the resolution of it, that need to be addressed before it's really taken seriously. So that's all I want to say about that.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, we have a motion on the table. Any further discussion? Okay, Jay, will you please help me with your motion?
Sure. It's to add to the agenda in November an item to discuss the changes for the applicability of the WUI code and options beyond the current DNR map and the findings of fact process on determining when and when not the code applies.
Okay, thank you. Are we okay with extending for another 5 minutes to get through this roll call? Okay, can I get a motion for that, please? Okay, thank
Second.
you. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
I,
Any against? Okay, motion carries. Extended to 4:35. Todd, I know you had your hand up, sorry.
Yeah, just real quick. I want to state that I agree with that this is probably needs a lot more exploration in the next cycle. But if we're going to move forward with exploration, I would request that one, we have DNR to represent, their maps. I want us to be very careful about being critical of their maps without them being able to defend what their charge was and their methods were. It's a map, and there was some method to how they did it. The second one is because of the need to explore the synergy or the harmonizing with development. I think it's very appropriate that we ask somebody from commerce in the GMA division to also be part of this discussion. So I think where we're leading is probably an ad hoc exploration, like we did in the tsunami codes, with leading experts from state agencies and universities and so forth. And I think that's what's being requested. And the building code is just one part of that. So that's my request, please.
Thank you, Todd. Micah?
Yeah, I agree with Todd there. There needs to be probably a more robust group that works on this, and maybe that's going to be the action at the next meeting and not just during that one meeting. Would also look at possibly exploring not enforcing the defensible space portions of this. Again, maybe that would have to fall under, I'm not even sure we could do that under emergency rule, but that would be an option, because it sounds like that's the biggest concern. The rest of it shouldn't be a concern as far as the code goes, especially on the applicability of the map. I'm not sure what that means, but lots to explore. I'm very, very open to have it on the agenda. So thanks for the motion, Jay.
Okay, thank you. Let's go ahead and do a roll call.
Joe Anderson,
Yes.
Jay Arnold,
Yes.
Todd Byerther,
Yes.
Justin Borgo,
yes.
Micah Chappelle,
Yes.
Damon Doyle,
Yes.
Tom Handy,
Yes.
Craig Holt,
Yes.
Kai Menzer,
Yes.
Ben O'Meara,
Yes.
Pete Reiki,
I,
Katie Sheehan.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, that'll conclude that agenda item.
Can I ask a clarifying question? So what is the direction for staff then? Just include it in the agenda, that's it? For the November meeting, we will include it in the agenda, but anything you need us to prepare?
Jay, if I'm correct, I mean, your motion is to consider an emergency rule at the next meeting, right?
Let me ask this, Stoyan, how, if there were proposals for emergency rules, when would you need them to include them in the agenda?
2 weeks before the meeting,
2 weeks before
as
the
late as.
Okay.
I had a question on that. Did Todd request the DNR and others be included in that meeting? So that might be what the direction to staff is, just to reach out to those organizations and get a representative at the meeting for those.
I think that'd be helpful.
That works.
It'd be helpful. I didn't make a motion, but yes, that was a request.
Okay,
Yeah. And just to clarify, because I think where this is leading is we need legislative help, and to bring awareness at this meeting would be very beneficial.
Maybe find the prime sponsor of the legislation that created the statute.
that would be nice if staff could do that as well. Thank you, Damon. Okay. Okay, very good. For the rest of this, I have to leave at 4:35, so I don't know if you guys are good with extending to get through the rest of it, or what you guys want to do there.
We need chilled and leave the meeting. If you leave,
I think it'd be Damon.
Damon, cool.
Okay,
He looks
thank
very,
you.
he looks
everyone.
very relaxed. He can do it. Thanks, Tony.
Okay, I gotta run. Thank you so much.
Okay, is there any further business to discuss? I think the rest of the agenda at this point, we're gonna have to just wash off to the next meeting.
I think with my budget, I will successfully get to the next fiscal year if we keep delaying that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I was gonna talk about my 30%, but next time.
there you go.
Actually, if I can just jump into item 10, it's very short.
Go ahead, Kristen.
We have filed the CR 102s for the changes to the energy code based on EPCA. We have 2 public hearings set up for November 21st and 22nd. 21 will be in Yakima, 22nd will be here in Olympia. And then we have a council meeting set up for November 28th to make the final determination on those.
Okay.
Well, that sounds exciting.
Fantastic, thank you.
And I wanna add on a different topic, we keep getting more and more public record requests, and I was planning to talk about that longer, but I wanna ask you nicely if you can CC the SBCC mailbox for your when you have emails related to council business. That will help us a lot to keep track on what's going on. And next time we can spend more time to discuss this.
Okay. Can I get a motion to postpone the remaining items on the agenda and to adjourn?
So moved.
So
Second.
moved.
Third,
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend and go Dogs.
go Cougs.
Cougs as well.
All right, see you later. Bye.
Thank you.